From invincibles to unstoppables, how Arsenal became title contenders under Mikel Arteta. Unai Emery's tenure as head coach of Arsenal got off to a disastrous start, with the lack of clarity on his playing philosophy and style and disagreements between coaching staff and players. The starting lineup for each game seemed almost random, further highlighting the team's struggles. After 18 months, Emery was rightfully sacked, and a few months later, the Arsenal hierarchy took a gamble on an inexperienced coach, Mikel Arteta, a former Arsenal player who had never managed a professional football club and was dubbed as Pep's Cone Man. Naturally, the decision raised eyebrows across the football world. However, just over 3 years later, it seems as though the gamble has paid off. We'll be exploring Arsenal's extraordinary season, the tactics, and changes that could lead the North London club to winning their first league title in 20 years. Don't forget to drop us a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell for more football analysis. Non-negotiables. Upon joining Arsenal in December 2019, Mikel Arteta emphasized the importance of his non-negotiables. At the start of 2022-2023 season, he reiterated them once again. So what exactly are they? According to the manager, respect is the first, commitment is the second, and passion is the third. These three qualities are deemed essential and are not open for discussion. Arteta believes that possessing these attributes will lead to success for the team, and he has been ruthless in removing players from the club who do not meet these standards. Over the last 3 seasons, Arsenal have parted ways with several high-profile players who were initially brought in with high fees in hopes of bringing the club back its glory days. Notably, Mesut Ozil, Shkodran Mustafi, and Henrik Mkhitaryan were all signed for a combined €122 million, only to leave the club for next to nothing. Ozil and Mustafi were allowed to leave for free, while Mkhitaryan eventually did the same after an initial loan spell at Roma that brought in a meager €3.1 million fee. However, other players have also left Arsenal at a loss during Arteta's reign, including Laurent Koscielny, Aaron Ramsey, David Luiz, Sokratis Papasopoulos, and Danny Welbeck, who departed on a free transfer costing the club €20 million. In addition, the club allowed Kolasinac, Chambers, and Aubameyang to leave in the January window without earning any compensation, despite signing the trio for a sizable €84 million. When calculating the amount spent on key players and what was recouped when they left the club, Arsenal have lost an astounding €261.5 million, with little effort made to recover cash from first-team players. Although some fans may have mixed views on the club's decision to let Aubameyang go, it follows a transfer policy that has been consistent under Mikel Arteta's leadership. The Guardiola effect. Arsenal's passing game is heavily influenced by detailed coaching that specifies player positioning and movement within defined zones on the pitch. The approach creates immaculately formed triangles all over the field, with the objective of playing rondos from back to front. Thanks to an excellent summer window, this strategy is finally paying off for Arsenal. 2 new signings, Alexander Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, have brought their years of training under Guardiola at Manchester City to the team, settling in immediately. Zinchenko, who plays as an interior fullback, has been dictating play, while Jesus injects urgency and forward momentum. His 65 progressive passes so far this season is more than any other player in the Premier League. With Jesus as the new orchestrator from the top, Arsenal's position game has become more purposeful, with depth and direction. Jesus provides 1-2 passes to keep the rondos going, and his dribbling skills add another dimension to Arsenal's attacking play. He completed 38 dribbles so far this season, the most in the Premier League before his injury. Assisted by Thomas Partey's improved form as the anchor and metronome, Gabriel Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko have seamlessly integrated into Arsenal's highly detailed passing system. Jesus has been particularly effective, receiving 65 progressive passes this season, more than any other player in the Premier League, and injecting a sense of urgency and forward momentum into Arsenal's play. Meanwhile, Partey's solid defensive work has freed up Granit Xhaka to focus on his superb distribution and allowed Martin Odegaard to dictate the tempo from a higher position on the field. Odegaard has been full of created guile while also averaging 1.6 possessions won in the final third per game, the joint most in the top division. As a result of these improvements, Arsenal has become more consistent and deliberate both with and without the ball, focusing on measured passing that incorporates both width and depth of field. This is translated into marked improvements on several possession and passing metrics compared to last season. Although their pressing is not among the top-performing Premier League teams in 2022-2023, Arsenal has been highly efficient, ranking 4th for high turnovers with 61 and 1st for shot-ending high turnovers with 13, despite being 12th in overall press sequences. One telling statistic is that Arsenal leads the league in shot-ending possession starts with 23. measuring when a player wins back possession to begin a passing sequence that ends in a shot. A hidden tactical gem. While Arsenal shares some similarities with Manchester City in their style of play under Arteta, there are also notable differences. Unlike Guardiola, Arteta is more open to the use of counterattacks and a more direct vertical approach to attacking when appropriate. This is partly due to his squad having players who are more direct and straight-lined, such as Bukayo Saka and Emile Smith-Rowe, but it also is a tactical decision, with Arteta instructing his center backs to break the lines and carry the ball forward. Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba have developed a solid partnership in defense, which has contributed to Arsenal's calm and consistent play in the rest of the pitch. They are also excellent at carrying the ball out of defense, with both ranking in the Premier League's top 5 for total carries this season. Saliba was even the top player in Europe for total carries during his loan spell at Marseille in the 2021-2022 season. Arsenal's willingness to be selective in their attacks and making surging forward moves during transitions is evident from their style of play. They rank third in the Premier League for the number of attempted dribbles with a total of 139, just below Southampton and Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is thanks to the penetrative work of Jesus, Saka, and Gabriel Martinelli. Moreover, Arsenal's focus on direct attacks is evident from their rank of 4th in the league with 14 direct attacks, surpassed only by Wolves, Fulham, and Tottenham Hotspur. Another surprising positive point from Arsenal's game this season is their focus on set pieces. They have the highest XG from set pieces in the league with 4.40 and have conceded the third lowest XG with an impressive 0.95. They have also scored the joint most set-piece goals at 5. Their in-swinging corners were causing havoc for the opposition last season, and they continue to employ this tactic this year, with every delivery into the box being a whipped in-swinger. A chink in Arsenal's armor. It's clear that Arsenal have shown significant improvement this season, but there are still some concerns that their critics have raised. Their toughest opponents so far in the 2022-2023 Premier League season have been Manchester United, who were able to neutralize Arsenal's position-based style of play. United played in similar style to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team, sitting back and eliminating Arsenal's ability to move beyond them with their triangles or dribbling. In the match, Arsenal faced their highest passes per defensive action of the season with 17.7 and had their fewest press sequences, but they did recover their highest direct speed of the season, moving the ball upfield at 1.73 meters per second. Despite having, on average, the fewest number of players in the opposition box this season, Arsenal hit a season-high number of open play crosses with 13. This suggests that Arsenal were more fearful in the match and struggled to commit numbers forward, which made it difficult for them to find their rhythm, building up gradually through the lines. The United game was one of the only handful of occasions this season that Arsenal have trailed in matches, and their ability to deal with adversity will likely be tested as they are set to face Liverpool at the Cup, Manchester City at Etihad, and Newcastle United Way. Nevertheless, Arsenal were able to right their wrongs when they destroyed Manchester United at the Emirates 3 months later. As a result, the performance against Manchester United could have been a one-time occurrence that reflected more on Ten Hag's influence than on the weaknesses of Arsenal. It's worth noting that 2 of the United goals resulted from positional errors by Albert Sambi Lokonga, who struggled to replace Partey. This was the first indication that Arsenal's squad may not be deep enough to handle the demands of a particularly grueling season. Even in the Brentford game, there were signs of this problem, with a weak-looking substitute bench that included players like Matt Smith, Lino Sosa, Rob Holding, Matt Turner, and Ethan Nwaneri. While it's a heartening story, it's not a positive sign for a 15-year-old to be getting minutes on the pitch. It seems as though Arsenal have addressed this with the additions of Jorginho and Leandro Trossard to provide more attacking impetus and midfield stability. With the team and manager finally coming together as Guardiola replicas, a place in next year's Champions League, a shot at silverware in Europe, and possibly a title could be within reach. And Arsenal's hierarchy can give themselves a pat on the back for keeping faith in Arteta. By staying firm on his non-negotiables, he has been able to develop a clear and attractive style of football at the North London club. The only question is, can the Gunners go all the way? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to see our end of the year review on the Premier League.